In a few days' time, I'll be 40 years of age. So by the time you'll be seeing this video, I'm already 40 years of age. My name is Raymond K. Monit. I was born February 2nd, 1986. I was born in Kaduna, Kaduna State. I know some of you are surprised, yes. and I'm the first son of my mother, and I'm the first son of my mother and the first child of my mother, but I'm the first son of my dad, and I'm not the first child. I have three elder sisters ahead of me. I did not decide where I'm going to be born, or I have no power over where I started. However, what you are seeing now, resilience, gave birth to this. Let me just give you a brief of my family. And this is a very interesting part that I want you to know. My mom was dating my dad, and her father did not allow her, did not agree that she should marry my dad. But you know, boyfriend and girlfriend things, they went behind the scene to do corner marking. So when the real man that wanted to marry my mom finally arrived, that is the man that my parents approved of, or my mom's parents approved of, which is my grandparents. As at that time, my stepdad wanted everything fast, and my mom was already pregnant of me. Now, this is a story that most people don't know. Even my siblings, they don't know this. And the first time I shared it, they were shocked. So I know they'll be shocked when they hear this one. So my mom was already pregnant of me before she went into marriage. There are a lot of things on my mind to say, but let me pause. So that's how I went into the family, and nobody knew until I was 20 years of age. Nobody knew that until I was 20 years of age. Now, my upbringing as a child within the age of 1 and 10 was amazing, because my stepdad, right in Kaduna then, I may not pronounce this place well, Tuduwada in Kaduna. That was where we used to stay, that's the area. And my dad then, which my stepdad, is an artist, a sculptor, you know, and he had a lot of money, was doing well in those days, and still doing well now anyway. I'm grateful because I went to a sound school, not sound engineering, no, like quality school. Like, oh God. I remember in those days they used to give us sardine to school, and sardine was 2 naira 50 kobo. Yeah, 2 naira 50 kobo, something like that. So my dad had two cars, one for himself, one for my mom, which is my stepdad now. One for himself, one for my mom. So, and then when we go to school, I will have to decide if I want to go with my mom's car. We had a driver, so then we'll take me with anyone. So my nursery school was amazing. My primary school was not amazing because of Kaduna riots. Those riots in the 90s, there were a lot of riots. And during the riots, I remember one that was very bloody. My God. So my dad had to go and fight. Like all the men, you had to go and fight. So that's how we ran away from Kaduna in those days. We left Kaduna. So that was the first time I'm changing school. We now moved to Ughelli in Delta State. So I changed school. Then private school, yes, I went to a private school. The name of the school is Jamem. Jamem. The school is in somewhere in Ughelli. Been a long time. Edoge Street. Edoge Street in Ughelli. And from there, later my dad put us in federal government school. I changed, that means primary school now. I've changed 3 primary schools now. 3 primary schools. Then from primary 5, I wrote common entrance. I passed, but my dad said I was too small. You know, I'm a small person. Now, if I'm saying I'm 40 now, some of you are surprised. So my dad said I was too small to go into secondary school, so he allowed me to do primary 6. Then we relocated again from Ughelli to Warri. So I had to change. That means I did 4 primary schools. I attended 4 primary schools. So when we were in Warri, I attended a new primary school. That's when I now wrote my primary 6 exam. I passed before. Now this part is the part that is the most interesting about my story. So I will pause here and I will tell you that part soon. Now, my teenage age started very early. People normally start their teenage at 13, because teen is 13, not 12, 14, 15. My own started at 9. And the reason my own started at 9 is because when I was 9 years of age, My parents just decided that I was a witch. Okay, let me say that one very well, because when I say my parents decided that I was a witch, it's looking funny. What actually happened was that my parents are the religious type. They are still the religious type till date. They believe in witches and wizards. Now I'm from Delta State, and if you are from Delta State, you know what that means. We have people that used to fly in the daylight. People they fly for afternoon. Ehen. So witches and wizards is real in Delta State. Now my parents said I was too stubborn and I was too intelligent to be like a normal person, so that I was not a normal person. You understand? So I couldn't do anything as a 9 years old boy child. They beat the hell out of me and they beat heaven into me. So then they took me to the village, had serious meetings with my extended family, and they abandoned me in the village. So that's how I started living my life. One of my grandmas, I have plenty grandmas. One of them took me in and started training me. So I stayed with her for like 2 years before she passed away. So I was not staying alone. At a point, I was not even having food to eat. So when they rushed me to the hospital because my stomach was paining me, it was found that the worm in my stomach was already eating my intestine because there was no food. I've not eaten for days. There were days where I used to eat only kanye and gari. I don't know if you will know what a kanye is. When you do banga, that seed, when you break it and open it, what is inside is what we call kanye. So that I used to eat that thing and gari. So I stayed in the village for the space of 5 years, from age 9 to age 15. And I learned all kinds of farm work. There's no farm work as far as Delta State is concerned. Any farm work that Delta State people do that I cannot do, whether it's cassava, whether it's yam, whether it's gari, fufu, starch, corn, yam, any kind of farm work that Delta people do, I can do them. So, but I didn't go to school for like 2 years because they abandoned me in the village. Later, I started going to school, and I repeated JSS1. So I spent 2 years in JSS1. I got promoted to JSS2. I repeated JSS2. Then that means I spent 2 years in JSS2. So JSS1 and JSS2, I already spent 4 years. So you want to know how my teenage life was, right? I'm telling you now. I spent 4 years there. When I now finally got back to the city, which is Warri, because I was in the village. So when I got back to the city in Warri, when I applied for school, the principal said that my results that I use in passing from JSS2 to JSS3 is too weak, that I will not be able to pass WAEC, that I have to repeat JSS2 again. So I did 3 years in JSS2. So from JSS1 to JSS2, I had spent 5 years in school. Now, I just want to use this opportunity to say something. When you hear me say certain things, I'm not just saying them. I'm saying them from where I am coming from. As I'm talking now, I just remember something when I said that I solved mathematics and my teacher have never seen that mathematics before, or the formula I use. And people are like, why are you lying? No, what you don't understand is that I've so much engraved myself in school that I believed that school is the only way for me to get out of poverty. So I was reading everything readable. And some of these classes, I've repeated them so much so that I have studied the questions. Like, do you understand? So that's how much I invested in school. Another thing, it was during my teenage age. I got born again when I was 14. I started speaking in tongues when I was 14. That was like 26 years ago. I got born again 14. I started speaking in tongues when I was 14. I took the things of God seriously. I started working in technical departments from 14, 15, 16, 17, before I became 20. It was when I was 19 stroke 20, I just got promoted to SS2. That was when my mother told me that the person that I've been calling my dad is not my real dad. I have a real dad. And before then, I have gone through hell in my life. I was already doing well. I had a phone call business center. I had like 3 centers where they do phone call business. In those days, when phone call business started, we were part of the people that started using Glue. In those days, I used to do black market fuel. So I used to say black market. President Obasanjo was the president then. In Delta State, James Ibori was the governor. So I used to do black market fuel. What other business did I do? I did conductor. I did conductor from age 18 to 19, 1 year, because I was in a government school. When it comes to secondary school, I've attended a lot of secondary school also. I was in a government school. Remember, the school where I repeated, spent 5 years in 2 classes. That's one school, James Swesh Grammar School. Then I got into the city. I started attending Onya Secondary School, Warri. Then when I finished my JSS3, I did not want to do government school again. So because that time I started working, I started making some money. So I decided I want to go to private school. So that was what led me to do conductor for 1 year. Because conductors used to make a lot of money. So I wanted to gather money so that I can pay my school fees. So I did conductor for 1 year, gather the money. so that I can pay for school fees in a private school. So that's third school now is St. Vincent College, Warri. So those are the three secondary schools that I finally now attended. But when I was now in SS2, when my mom now told me that this is not your real dad, I just became tired of life. I'm like, I don't tire. After all this stress. And all this while I'm telling you now, from age 9 to age 20, I was already sleeping outside though. Like when I mean sleep outside, I don't have a place. I remember when my grandma died, the house that I was living in with my grandma is a mud house. So the house collapsed. So it's like sleeping outside. Sometimes it's rain falling. I remember one time there was a snake even living with me in the house. Like one day I was just sleeping, I looked up, I saw the up snake was staying there. So it's been a crazy life. It's been a crazy life. So um, from that age 9, I stayed outside. I will tell you when I was talking about my 20th, when I became 20 from there, I'll tell you so you understand how my life has been. I think that's it for my teenage age. I told you I did phone call business, I did conductor, I did car wash business. I also did car wash. Then at a point I was washing plates in a restaurant. I have to wash plates before I eat, go to the restaurant where they are buying food. They bring plates out. Then also I sold pure water. I hawked pure water. I sold pure. There's one woman I used to sell pure water for. I'll talk about her later when I will do appreciation. I sold pure water. I used to sell like 17 bags, 18 bags in a day for that woman. What else? I think that's it for my teenage life. If I remember anything, I'll tell you. But I was in all of this. I was not smoking. I was not drinking. I was not womanizing. Even though I was staying on the street, I was bad guys. See now, Warri I come from. When they talk say ruggedness, now Warri you use anti-touch ground. So I see stubbornness to the fullest, ruggedility to the. You don't hear name. You dey hear people name like Ogodo, Shegbelegbe, Magege. These are guys that, do you understand? So even as stubbornness, so sometimes when I'm talking and maybe I'm offended and I'm angry and I'm talking with aggressiveness, someone think that I'm just joking. Anyway, it's a documentary, but let me just tell you, the same capacity I have to be calm, to be loving, I still have to say, I will wound you. Do you understand? I went through life. I saw those things. Sometimes if I open my body now, you may see cuts, you may see wounds, you may see many things on my body because of fights, cutlass. It's only gun they've not shot me, but if not cut, they don't cut me, they don't stab me. Different for my body. But God don't help me. My body don't dey smooth. I don't dey talk fine, but now I'll be talking about my journey so far from age 20 to age 30. You already know that it's going to be a summary. I would like to start from when I was 19 stroke 20. I told you that was when I stopped going to school. When my mom told me that the person, oh, this is not your father, this is not your real father, your real father. I'm like, wetin dey happen? Wetin dey occur? With all the suffering I don't suffer, you can't tell me say another person, my papa again. I can't go start. Now won't go to do search of papa. It was not funny, And in my whole life, before I became age 20, I have done like more than 7 village meetings. They don't do for my head. There's something I didn't tell you in my teenage age. When they took me to the village when I was 9, I need to say that it's very important. When they rejected me in the village, the family meeting that they did, they concluded that for peace to reign, as a witch, is a custom that I will have to go to the market square and confess openly. I'm saying this because my brothers, my sisters, my cousins, all of them, they will see this. Some of them were not born themselves. And my uncles, some of them that heard with ears, and they did as if they did not hear. They will hear now. They took me to the first market square because, my village used to have 2 market days. There's one that is the local market day. I did that one. I have to go from eye to eye. Market square, the eyes. You go from one eye to the other. And I say, bo, 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 I'm a witch. I will now look at them. What else should I say? There's a script. They will not tell me. I will not say it. I used to say it in my local dialect. I did it from eye to eye. Then the next market day, which is the market that all the villages around, they will come and join that market. I also went to that market day. I did it. So fast forward, because of all those suffer, stress of life, I'm already building my life. When I was in my starting from 16, 17, 18, 19, I was already making money. I didn't know what to do with money. So that's how I started phone call business. I told you when Glo just started, we bought Nokia 3310 for 40,000. Is it 40,000? I think 40. Either I bought SIM card for 45,000, Nokia 40,000, or SIM card 40,000, Nokia. That's when Glo just came out. MTN. I used to buy SIM card. Anyway, that was the point. And so I was angry. I said, I'm not doing it again. In fact, I don't want to do anything in my life again. And at that time, I've gathered my friends. I used to have like 9 or 11 set of friends in secondary school. I'm the leader. So I always teach them mathematics. One of my friends will teach English, another one will teach chemistry. We just like book. We used to study. My intent was to write WAEC and get the result WAEC has never recorded in their life. I wanted to get A, not only A, like the A. I'm not sure if I go fail one question. Even because I was already helping people write exams in those days. Like I was a machinery. When they want to write WAEC, they will, those things. Let's leave that matter. I'll cut this one out of it. TikTok people, I will not cut it. It will be there. Anyway, it's my story. So from age 20, I have to go and look for my dad. They took me to my dad. They now did another meeting again, another family meeting. My dad was rejecting me. You didn't tell me that you have a child after 20 years. You are wicked. This is what I used to tell people about women. I won't call my mom that yesterday. If I asked her one question, she was like, "What are you asking this question for?" So when I talk about women, I understand some things because I stayed in the village. I discussed with many grandmothers. I asked many grandmothers questions. They told me a lot of things. So my dad rejected me and they scolded him. How can somebody train a child for you, 20 years old grown-up child, you say you will not take? If you leave this place, we will not give you this child again. So they now, they're elderly people now. My dad now succumb. So that's how my dad now took me on. By the time I met my dad, he used to have money. My dad used to be the manager of Power Holding in Iruekpe, Uromi, all those places in Edo State. My dad is still a Deltan and he's also from the same village with my stepdad and my stepmom. So, but at this point, my papa don't finish in money. My 3 elder sisters don't do university. They almost graduate self. Money don't finish. So I came when money don't finish. Which means suffer square one again. But at this point, I was already wide. So my dad was not treating me like, pampering me like, oh, the newborn baby of the house. If he wants to eat, I'll eat with him. I'm like, which kind? And this, at age 20, this is the first time I want to now start staying in a house with people. The first time I will, like, night come, at the inside house, roof cover me, I sleep for bed after 11 years of my life. So I stayed in Uromi for 1 year, and the issue I had with my dad was that he complained that I was reading too much, that I would have brain issue. So I stopped reading. I focused on my football because I used to play good football. So I focused on football. He complained because nobody knew my dad, but because of the way I play football every year, so people started Nadama picking up. So my daddy would go somewhere, they would be calling him CC Ronaldo Papa. They used to call me CC Ronaldo. Say CC Ronaldo Papa. My daddy now came to the house. He said, who is CC Ronaldo in this house? So that's when my dad now figured out I was the one. My dad now stopped me from playing football. Now said I should go and work. So I started working in less than 1 month. I started working the first week. They promoted me. The second week, I became assistant manager. In 1 month, I was like, no, I was not manager. I stayed as assistant manager, but they increased my salary twice. I was too effective. The street vibe now, the energy I brought from the street. So it was a pure water factory business company. So we used to sell pure water from the city, like village to village. We would drive, carry truck, supply pure water. So I became operator, assistant manager. My dad started complaining, your brothers are going to work, they come back. You go work very early, 6 o'clock. You come back in the night, 9 p.m. Are you the owner of the company? So I was tired. I read, you complain. I play ball, you complain. I work, you complain. That's why I write letter. Fusca paper. I write 3 pages of letter. Comprehensive. I explain. Nobody pursue me come out for house. My stepmom is not bad. She's not wicked. She did not treat me bad in any way. She treated me the way she's treating her own children. My younger brothers, I'm not dragging anything with them. My father had one Toyota Corolla like that. That was the first car I started learning with. In 2000, all this thing I'm saying now, this was practically 2006. So, and I already be born again then already. So and my dad also had another issue with me. I used to go to church, a Christ Embassy church. He said I was too serious, that I should go to Anglican. My dad came to church one day, I was doing praise and worship, lifting up holy hands in front. He sent Usher to call me. Usher now called me out of church. I said, what's the problem? He says, somebody wants to see you. I said, I went to my dad. I said, Daddy, what happened? He said, follow me home now. I said, Dad, the service is going on. He said, is it that you follow me home now or just remain in church? I said, Daddy, don't worry. I'll see you when I get home. Because you can't threaten me. I don't stay. You know what they call worry. Now worry don't come now, Sha. In our time, stubbornness now our name. So there's nothing, no kind of shout you won't shout. So I just look at my dad. Okay, when beat you won't beat me. Not me beat, I don't collect for streets. So I just entered church back. My dad went home and told my elder sister, told them, they now waited for me to come from church. Come and see beating. I didn't care. So all those things combined together, I wrote that letter and I put the letter under my bed. in my room and I left. I ate with my parents, so in the dining